Yes. So in this abstract data type, we are going to look at these two topics in this today class. So between abstract data type and the abstract data types and classes. So before going to the abstract data types, I want to represent these things, this figure, and what is mean by data type? The proper data type with the code instruction, you can develop the program or an application or a website. This is the basic structure. So first you will go with this example. So in the first image, what it was represented is the requirements of building an house, and the instruction of house building will develop the house, and same like that the data structure plus the code instruction will develop you the application or a website or a program, whatever you are going to describe. So this data structure will play a major role in the programming concept. And now coming to this, use the right data structure for a problem. If you are going, if you take this example, if you are going to develop, if you are going to build a window over here, the bricks will not be used, the wooden stick will be used over there. So in this case, same as like that, if you are going with any programming concept, the right data structure want to be used, where the stack want to be implemented and where the queue want to be implemented, where the list want to be implemented, or whether the tuples or dictionary, whatever the purpose of the programming lines of code, the right data structure want to be used in your concept. And these are all the containing storing data in a specific memory layout. Can you tell me the first image, what is this, what it means is this first image, what it means? Have you seen this?
Yes, sir.
What is that? Yes,
Six empty blocks.
I can't get you. What is it? First image means is first representation. I have shown you some of an example in the classes boardroom itself. When you are going to create a list, the list will be created in a box shape with the index value of 0, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. So the first image will be represented as a list, and the second image, the left-hand side image, will be represented as a linked list. So this is a new concept for you. I will explain you in the second and third unit the linked list concept. So this is the linked list, which will be consist of one dotted symbol with an arrow mark, which will be consist of another list. So this is known as a linked list. And third one, which will be consist of a tree shape. So these three will be playing a major role, which will be allotted the data memory that can be stored in your program. So this is the thing. So first you want to select the approximate data structure and the code instruction to develop the application or a websites, whatever the project you are going to design. And the second one, you want to keep that in mind, the right data structure want to be maintained, want to be declared in your program to develop the lines of code. And third one, these three will be playing a major role in a data structure, that is a list, linked list, and the tree concept. So these three will be playing the major role. And here, can you tell me what is happening in the left hand side and right hand side program?
On left hand store Apple stock for 5 days. Apple stock 5 days.
You are storing an Apple price for 5 days in the left hand side, and the third lines of code, what is happening here, what was the price of day 1 and what was the price of day 3, we want to find out. Here the stock price will be of 0, which will be consist of an, if we are using a list, the index value will be starting from 0, 1, 2 and 3, so we are giving 0 and it will be producing the result as 298, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So here the second line, what is happening? So 0, 1, 2, it means that the day 3 value will be, the output will be 320. So here we are representing only the day. So we are going to use the list concept. So now coming to the right hand side, what is happening here?
March 4 to March 7.
Sir, stock price for certain days to certain days.
I can't get you. I can't get you. The voice is not clear actually.
Sir, Apple stock price in certain days.
Yes. So the Apple stock price has been
Certain
conducted, but what was the key value here? Here in the left hand side, what I have done is they have given a days, that means day 1 and day 3, and here what we have given.
The
March 4
7,
to March 7.
March 7th and March 7th and March. So the question has been wrong, so not a problem. You can take that 1 and 2. That means March 7th and March 3rd. So what it means? What is the day 1 and day 3? What is mean by day 7, March 7 and March 3?
Day 1, day 3 is the starting
Yes, it
of
will be.
Apple stock
Yes,
price.
good. So here it will be a starting point. That means that day 1 we are going to store the particular Apple stock price from the day 1 to day n. And when you are want to do when you are want to get the details of day 5 or day 7 or day thing, you can go with this list, and you can, based upon the index value, you can get an output. So here what we have mentioned is March 7 and March 3. So two different types of days we want to represent the stock price. So here what we have used there, whether we have used list, tuple or dictionaries.
Dictionary, sir.
Yes, dictionary. It means that we are going to store the March from the March 1 to March 31st. All the day value has been stored. Here, what is meant by March 4?
298.
No, what is mean by March 4 in dictionary?
Day 1.
No,
Variable.
no.
Keywords, sir.
Keywords. Yes. So here first we want to declare that March 1 to March 31st is your keyword, and based upon the keywords, the stock price want to be updated. When you are calling those particular keyword, that particular stock price will be displayed in your output. Clear about this too?
Sir.
Yes. So first we want to know how the what the output want to be expected in your lines of code. Based upon those output, we want to declare a data types over there. It means a list, stack, or queue, whatever it may be. We want to declare over there, and based upon the data type declaration, we want to write the lines of code. Right? Any doubts in this too? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No. So yes. So the major thing, based upon your output requirement, we want to declare a data type, and based upon the declaration of the data type, you can do the process. So this is the concept. And now coming to the memory location. So yes. So here you know that the list will be stored by the index value 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So likewise, it will be stored accordingly till the n number of the elements in the list. So in the left hand side, what I have done is the stock price, the 5 values will be there. So till the index value 4, the list has been stored according to 1 by 1. And now coming to the dictionary, how the data will be stored in your system or in your application, that can be accessed here by using this hash function. So don't go with inside of those hash function. The hash function I will be explaining you in this second and third unit with the programming concept, but the concept is here. So this values will be stored randomly in the data types, and whenever you are calling those March 4 keyword or March 5 keyword, it will directly go to the particular keyword, and they will give you the valuable output what that was stored in the particular element. So likewise only this, like this only, the memory will be allotted for each and individual items that you are going to declare. If you are declaring as a list in your program, then the memory allocation will be like this. It will be according to the sequentially, it will be going till the end of an element. And if you are going with these dictionaries, it will be stored randomly. The value will be stored randomly, but the keyword will be assigned in sequence, and whenever you are going to access any one of the keyword, it will directly go to the particular value and it will produce the result by using this hash function. So hash function I will explain you in the upcoming topics. So this is the memory allocation of a particular data type that you are going to be used in your programming languages, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now coming to the abstract data type, in the previous class I have told what is meant by abstract. So don't go with those theory parts, it will be confused. So don't go with the theory parts. I am asking you what is meant by abstract. In the previous class I have explained you.
Simple or complex?
An idea.
Yes.
Sir, it
So
will gives the details of the overall project.
yes, it will produce the overall details of the particular program in the earlier part of your program itself. So it means that it will avoid unwanted elements in your program, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. So it means if you are using any data types in your program, if you just imagine that if I am using the, so if I am declaring an integer value of a comma b comma c comma d in my main program, and I am declaring this is an abstract data type, and I am using here a is equal in between the lines of code I am using that a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 15 and c is equal to a plus b and print of c. So how many data types I have declared there? How many data types I have declared?
One.
One. Sorry, how many data types variable I have declared? One data type I have declared. How many data types variable I have declared?
3 variables, sir.
Three
Three
variables, sir.
Declared. I'm
Four.
not four. Yes, I have declared 4 variables,
sir.
that is A, B, C, and D, right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Four
So how
variables.
many variables I have used here?
Three, sir.
3. So what is the purpose of I am using you declaring a variable called D?
Unwanted data.
Yes, this is an unwanted data type. So this data types want to be reduced by using those abstract data types, right? By using the stack queue and some other thing, the tree. So these are the data types, the abstract data types that can be used to reduce the unwanted data, the declaration of an unwanted variables in your data types. Clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I will share you this. So don't go with those theory part. So this is the data types, basic data types. It means that it will reduce the unwanted data types that you are not used in your program. That will be reduced by using majorly these two conditions, that is stack and queue. So here the classes are the Python representation of a data type are very useful notation in any programming languages. So classes will be used in all the programming languages. The classes will be a very useful notation. By using those classes, you can represent the object inheritance, whatever it may be. So don't get confused. I will explain you and all. So you just imagine that whatever we are using the function, we have done some of the program in BSBP, same as like that. In data structure, we are going to use the class, and the operation of the class and the description of the class I will explain you in the upcoming class. So here the basic two thing will be the stack and queue. So I have already explained you what is meant by stack.
Inserting and deleting.
Yes. What is meant by stack?
First in
I will remove you all of them from the meeting right now.
Sir, last in, first out.
Last in and first out. Can you give me an example for that?
First out.
Yes.
Tower of Hanoi, sir.
Tower of Hana. Yes. So this will be clear. You are having a clear mindset about the stack. So here, so a stack is a linear data structure that store an item in last in and first out. LIFO. In stack, a new element can be added one end and the element is removed from that end only. If you are inserting an element from one end, same end the element want to be removed. So the insertion and deletion operation are often called as push and pop. So what is meant by push? So you can see the image, then you can get an idea.
Inserting.
Yes. What is meant by push?
An element.
Inserting an element. So yes, you can see here an image that in the stack we are pushing one of an element inside this, and the insertion and deletion happen on same end. So we are popping one of an element. The last element want to be popped out from the stack, and this is known as if you are removing an element from the stack, that is known as a pop, right? Clear?
Sir.
Yes. Yes. So stack which will be consist of last in and first out. The major two operation will be push and pop. So the function associated with stacks are, you want to create a stack and push an item inside the stack and pop the item, and you can view the top element of the stack, and you can check whether the stack is empty or not, and the size you can represent it. If you need a size of a particular stack, you can get the size of a particular stack. So here, what is the size of this stack? What is the size of the stack?
12.
12.
12. Yes, the stack size is 12. And if suppose you want to represent in your programming concept whether the stack want to be in the size of 12, and after getting the 12th element in the stack, and once again if you are pushing those element, 13th element if you are pushing there, then the stack will not be accepted. Then it will display a message like that the stack is full, or you can't able to insert a new element. So likewise you can give a message also. So for this, the size of the stack can be viewed by in your program, and here you can check whether the stack is empty or not to make a new element inserted, and this creation of a stack, push, pop, and the top. So these are all the basic function associated with the stack. So don't go in depth about this, and we will go with one of an example of a stack, then you can get an idea about this. So the screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Can you tell me whether we have used any functions over here? Sorry. Whether we have used any functions?
Append.
Yes, sir.
Append.
That is not a function, that is we are doing one of an operation by using those lists.
No, sir.
No, yes. So what we have used here, which line will be executed first? Which line will be executed first?
11th line.
What is that line? So here there is no subprogram, only main program. Here we are not declared any functions in the program. So it means that there is no subprogram in your lines of code. So all the lines of code which will be consist of the main program. Here the main program which will be starting from here we are initializing, we are creating one list, an empty list, and we are giving a name called stack, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes. So here what will happen? It will create an empty list with a name called stack, and here it will go there and stack dot append of A. What is mean by append?
Add.
Adding element.
Adding element.
Adding element.
Adding an
of
element
adding.
in a
Last.
Last.
List.
last. So append function is used to add an element in the end of the list. So it means already it is an empty list. So it will add first A and B and C, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So here we are giving a print option and we are printing the stack and it will be displaying A, B, and C. And now coming to here, print of stack dot pop. We are not giving any index value over here. It means so the stack will be represented by A, B, and C. So first element we have inserted A, and second element we have inserted B, and third element we have inserted C. So here print of stack dot pop, and inside this function we are not given any index value over here. It means it will remove the last element from the list, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
If
sir.
you are
Pop.
giving an index value, then it will remove the particular index value. If you are not giving any index value over here, it means that it will remove the last element. So what is the last element that was added in the list?
C, sir.
C. So when you are giving the pop function, it will remove the C first. It will remove the last element first. That means C will be removed first. And after that, this print option, the B will be removed first. And if suppose I am giving this print option, what will happen?
A will be.
May also be removed.
So A will be removed and the final stack will be the empty stack in your empty stack, empty.
Empty
There
list.
is no element in the stack list. So now you can get an
Yes,
output like this. Is this right? So the last element has been inserted is C. So the first element has been removed as C. Last before element is inserted B and the second element is removed as B, and first element is A and the last element that was removed as A. So this will be most probably consist of your tower of an problem. You are inserting A, B, and C in a disk. You are inserting A, B, C disk in a stand, and first we want to remove the C disk. So that was happened in the pop function, right? So this is a basic example of a stack. When you are going into the programming lines of code, based upon this push and pop function and the index value, you can do some of an operation by using those stack and the queue. So clear about this. If suppose I am disabling this line, what will happen?
A will be output.
Yes, the A will be displayed in the end. So you can see here, 2 elements has been pop up from the list and the remaining element in the list has been displayed. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the queue. So what is meant by queue?
First in, first out.
First in and first out. So the example will be your ticket reservation, ticket counter. It will be your example. So here the stack and queue is a linear data structure that store an item in first in and first out manner. So here the insertion and deletion happens on different end, whether it is right.
Yes.
Yes. The insertion and deletion happens on different end, whether it is right or wrong.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Right,
So
sir.
it means that we are entering into the queue and coming out from the different end. So here the dequeuing and enqueuing concept will be from the different end. By this, whoever coming first is served first. So this is the concept. Whichever data is coming first inside the queue, that will be served first. So this is the concept, and these are the operation, that is queue, dequeue, friend in the sense it is the entering point, and whether you want to check whether the queue is empty or not. And here also you can check the size of the queue. It means if you are giving a size of a particular queue, after those particular size you can't able to insert any element in the particular list. So this is the concept. And here, any functions here?
No, sir.
No. So again, same thing. So what is the difference between these two things? So what is this is the stack operation and this is the queue operation. So what is, can you tell me, so same lines of code has been appeared with the different data types over there. So what is the difference you are seeing over here?
We assign some
Index value,
value.
sir.
Yes. Yes. What is the major difference in the lines of code?
Index value is
Queue
given, sir.
operations, sir.
Yes, the index value has been represented. What is meant by the index value here? So in all the index value, I am giving as index value as 0. It means that what will they remove?
First element.
Here you can see this first element will be A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be, and high, and 12.22, and how are you? So now the index, now the list has been created. Now the list has been created, and here in this line, what I am going to do is I am going to remove the first index value element. And so it means which value will be removed?
Yeah.
A will
A.
be removed, and after removing this, and again the index value of 0 will be like, this is the index value of 0. In the second line, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be removed, and the third line, this high will be removed, and the fourth line, this 12.22 will be removed, and the remaining will be print in this after removing the element, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes. So how many here I am? How many data types has been used in the list? How many data types has been
Five,
used?
sir.
5.
5. What are there? 5 or 4?
4, sir.
Yes. Tell me what are the data types are there?
Integer, character, string, and float values.
Integer, character, string, and float. So these 4 data types has been used. So whether if I am using this over here, and I am eliminating this thing, whether it will be getting an output?
No, sir.
Yes. Whether the same output has been displayed with only one data type. Yes. Whether this is right of getting those, we are inserting an element in a particular list and popping those element in the from the list. Whether this is right or wrong. Yes. Whether this output is right or wrong. That's why I'm asking.
Right, sir.
Right. Yes. So same thing. What I have done is I have declared this data types and the variables inside the list itself. I am not going to use any append function over there. I am predefinedly I am declaring. So this A I want to be used in my program. So I am going with those A in the abstract itself. In the main list itself, I am going to declare this. So if suppose I want to add any element here. So if suppose I am taking this. So then what will be my output here? Whether this is right.
Yes,
In
sir.
between the yes, in between the program, if I need any variables to insert in a particular list, I can insert by using the append function. But the thing definitely I am going to use in this lines of code, I am going to use a character in my program. So I am declaring this A as my abstract data type, and I am going to insert that in a particular list when the list has been created. Clear? So likewise also you can insert an element to the list in the abstract, in the main creation of the list itself. So there is no problem. If I am going to, if you are thorough with this, so I am going to use, so 3.14, so 3. So what is mean by 3.14? It's a pi value, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you just imagine that I am going to do one of an operation by using the formula and using the symbol. What is meant by that? So I am going to use a pi value in my program. That is your predefined. So I am going to use a pi value in my program. That was sure. So you no need to go with an append function. You just take this 3.14 in your program. 3.14 in your program, and you can directly initialize the 3.14 in your list. So it means I am going to use this, definitely I am going to use this 3.14 in my program. So I am declaring that particular 3.14 in the list in the earlier part itself. So no need to for going with those append operation. I am going to declare this 3.14 in the earlier part, right? So this 3.14 will be used over here. So in this particular 3.14, you can use this 3.14 values wherever you need and wherever you want in the lines of code. No need of going with this append function. So in case in between the lines of code, if you are need of any elements to add in the list, then you can go with those append function and you can execute the problem. So this is known as the basic abstract data types that you can declare earlier in the list. The data types will be any data types. It may be a character, string, float, or double. The only thing is, whenever you are going to declare a data types or a variable inside the elements, inside the list, that element want to be used in your lines of code. So it means it won't affect the memory location of your program. So wherever you need, you can go with those append operation in between your program. When you are declaring this, it will store the variables or data types in a particular memory location. So whenever you need those particular value, you can use those particular value in your program, right? Any doubts? Who is that? Nana Manale. So I am getting so tense. I want to. So clear about this push and pop? See, list stack and queue. Yes.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So if suppose I am using here, so in the stack I am using this, I am going to use a variable called D in my program definitely. So you can declare here as D. So if you are going with an append function, then what will happen? It will take a next memory location as A, and next memory location as B, and next memory location as C, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so it means that you are going to use this variable called D definitely in your program. So in that if you are having a confidence over here, then you can declare that variable in the earlier part of declaring a list in your program. If you are going to declare a list in your program, then you can give the variables over there itself. No need for going with those append function and all. And if suppose if you are using, so after going to the class concept, then you can able to understand that this D will be access to all the classes that you have declared in your program. So I will explain you when you are going with those class concept. So as of now, you are clear with this queue and stack, right? Yes.
Sir.
Yes. So any doubts on this? So don't go with this theory part. I will give you shortened theory part for this abstract data types. I have just taken from your textbook, so it will be confusing. So I will give you a shortened. After completion of the first unit, I will give you the 2-mark questions and the MCQ questions also. So any doubts? Who is that? Any doubts over here?
No, sir.
If you are having any doubts, you stay back and give your queries, ask your doubts, or else you can give your attendance and you can